today's video. Today we're going to discuss how you can send your loads over to Carriernet Financial that you have already entered into your Truckwin Connect program. Before I do that, there is one thing I want to show you inside of Connect because it will become important when you go to send your loads over. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Truckwin Connect screen. This is the Enter New Load screen, which you should be familiar with. What I wanted to point out was this section here that says Customer Reference, and you'll see I have a number typed in here. I got that number off of my paperwork, and it's important to fill this in because you're going to be sending this over to Carriernet, and they are going to need that number out of your paperwork to tie it together. So that said, let's go to the Carriernet dashboard. And what you'll do is you can either click on Funding Request here in the middle of the screen, or you can come up under Invoice Funding, and you're going to go to Funding Request History. This page is going to default to the last 90 days in the date range here. You can always adjust that. But what you're going to see is you're going to see the loads that you've entered into Truckwin showing here. You'll be able to see the trip number, as Truckwin would call it, or load number. You can see the bill to customer. This is that customer reference number that I showed you, that it's pulling across, and then the factor status. You'll see I have a couple here that say not sent, which means I have not sent them over to Carriernet for funding. You can see here's one that was sent over for funding already, so it says sent to factor. So if I want to send in just one invoice, I'll show you how to send in just one, and then after that I'll show you how to send in more than one. I would simply come down and I can either put a check mark next to my load and go up and click on Send to Carriernet, or I can click on it and it's going to bring this screen up, and I still need to attach my paperwork to this before I send it in. So I can simply come over here and you'll see it separated out between rate confirmation, bill of lading, and supporting documents. If I want to upload my rate confirmation, I would click there. Attach my PDF, the same thing for my bill of lading. And if I had any supporting documents, I could add those as well. But it brought across my customer reference number. I can see my customer that I'm billing, and it's got my contract rate, my revenue amount that I had put into Truckwin. So if I'm ready to send this over to Carriernet, I can just hit Request Funding, and it's going to bring me to my Schedule of Account page, which I can look over. So I can see I want to send in $1,500. And it defaults to ACH, so if you wanted that to go to your Fleet 1 or a wire, you can separate out the dollar amounts correctly here. I would want to click I hereby agree to sell these invoices, and I would hit Send to Factor. Now I'm going to show you how you can send in multiple invoices. If you go back to the Invoice Funding screen, instead of clicking on just one, I'm going to click on the second one because I have not attached paperwork to it yet, and I'm going to go ahead and attach paperwork to this one as well. I'll do a rate con and my bill of lading. And now I'm going to go back to my funding request history page. So what I can do is scroll down, and I've got both of my loads here. I can put check marks next to both of them since I want to send in more than one. Go up to the top and click on Send to Carriernet. You'll see it put both of those loads on my Schedule of Account for me, and it added the amounts together for my total. And like I said, if you can separate this out, so let's say I want 500 of that to go to Fleet 1, I could put in 500, of course change my ACH to 2000. I would hit I hereby agree to sell these invoices, and hit Send to Factor. When I hit Send to Factor, at that point it's going to send that over to Carriernet Financial, where the invoicing team will start processing that for you. And you'll see it currently says sent to factor, meaning I sent it over. Once invoicing starts to process it, that sent to factor is going to change to verifying. That's how you'll know they're actively working on it. And then once everything is verified, it's going to change to funded. That's how you know that it has gone through the whole system. And so that's how you would incorporate the loads that you've put into Connect in with your dashboard to send over to Carriernet.